Book states, I saw Frank Furley do an interesting negative refrain once. Frank was working with a man at a conference where I was supposed to model his behavior. The man was telling Frank about how he couldn't get a zing out of his wife, basically, and Frank, in his inevitable form, was badge gearing. The guy is so fast, he couldn't keep track on what he was saying. So Frank goes, well, do you ever kind of give other women the eye, you know? The man states, well, yeah, sometimes. Wait, but with your wife, nothing happens? Man goes, yeah, well, I kind of stiffen up. Frank goes, well, where do you stiffen up? This is very important. Man goes, well, all over. Frank goes, oh, when you're with other women, do you stiffen up all over? The man goes, well, no. You know, I've had lots of interactions with other women. And, Frank, interactions? Is that fucking? Frank is very subtle. Man, well, yes. Does your wife know about this? The man goes, no. Well, does your wife have interactions too? Well, no. How do you know? Well, you know, I just feel that. Frank goes, the intensity of your feelings is not the test of reality. Now, that's a refrain of sorts. You think of refraining as only being useful for taking something unpleasant and making it nice. Then you should probably find a new profession. Many people need to have a more accurate view of themselves and the world. And that's not always nice. The man Frank Furley worked with the assumed so that his wife didn't have interactions with other men and that she didn't know that he was seeing other women. He also assumed something even more dramatic, that she was not important to him. What are you doing, man? But he is the one who will come to therapy when his wife drops him like a hot potato. Suddenly, no other women will do. I call people like him pennies. They come in pennying away after they've lost love. I'm about to spaz on this nigga, man. Looking for cigarette butts and shit, man. About that hour, man. But anyway, if they had more sensory experience to begin with, they might have never lost their wife in the first place. Let's just say I'm a therapist from the Midwest, and I became a therapist without knowing exactly how I got to be one. I was going through school, and chemistry was too hard. I didn't really like mathematics, and I found history extremely boring. All my friends were going to school to be teachers, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted a new crowd. I felt inadequate. And when I got into therapy, I saw that people always compliment each other in groups, and I thought, that's really groovy. So I became a therapist. I got a license, but I still have strong feelings of inadequacy. And this causes me trouble. If I generalize my own problems to the rest of the world, there are going to be a lot of people I can't help, because some people do not have problems with feelings of inadequacy. In fact, if some of them felt inadequate, they'd be a lot better off.